See, the third time's a charm. How's it going? So yesterday I finished up all the wholesale orders that we had. So Monday I'm going to start working on displays. I'm going to raise up my tables for the shows. And I'm going to start working on some new business cards and banners and all that stuff. Yeah, everything's kind of coming together now. So I was going through the shafts that I ordered. I ordered 573 or 75 of them were the wrong type of wood. They were white oak. So I had to go through all of them. I'm like, come on. So I got a hold of the company I bought them from, and they're sending me some out. They should be here tomorrow. Oh, cool. Yeah, the fence turned out. I was going through stuff, and then I'm like, I still have a couple pieces of acrylic left. Hey, Cutis, how's it going? Welcome in. So we are turning hard maple, and we're making shafts for Turkish-style drop spindles today. There's something oddly satisfying about, making stuff with your hands. Yeah, I've been doing this is my 13th year. I spent a lot of years working in factories for other people. This is way better. So we're knocking out a bunch of shafts. That way. So this actually, when we're done, we're making Turkish-style drop spindles. So this is what they look like when they're done. Well, this needs sanding, but So it's 3 pieces. And they're used to spin yarn. So here's some yarn I've spun on this one. So yeah, so we're making the shafts today. The arms are cut out on a scroll saw, so they're all cut out by hand. So yeah, we sell them online. We do some limited wholesaling. We also do shows. We have a break right now. Our next, we got 3 more shows coming up. One in September, and then 2 in October. September is Wisconsin Sheep and Wool. And then October is Lambstown, which is outside Sacramento, California. And then Carolina Fiber Fest in Raleigh, North Carolina. No, I'm sorry. That one already happened. It's going to be SAF, which is in Fletcher, North Carolina, which is close to Asheville. Let's see. So yeah, I kind of fell into this. So I was making a lot of wooden toys and little wooden signs. I was selling those back in the 2008-ish. Then one of my friends online asked for a spindle, and yeah, here we are. Now we have this little piece here that's left over. We'll actually use those to make even smaller ones. Yeah. Yep. So the lathe itself is spinning at 3,600 RPMs. Yep, so it's running at 3,629 RPMs. So we'll start out with this roughing gouge. So I ordered these oversized so I could true them up. I'm going to be using this wrench as a caliper. So they're going to bring the diameter down. Now, if the wrench will slip over, yeah, wax is getting a little bit small. Definitely use some more wax. I'm going to use up as much as I can, and then I'm going to vacuum that out. So, with the roughing gouge, I'm bringing the diameter down. This is maple. It doesn't really have a smell. Some exotic woods you could be allergic to. You never want to be breathing in sawdust. That's why we got this exhaust here. It's not great as you're not going to be breathing this in, but it's really good with bringing the sand, the really fine sawdust in there. So when we sand, don't know if you can see it, but it brings it in there. Yeah, this isn't bad. I do not like the smell of like bloodwood. It smells like burning rubber. But like canary wood smells really good. Cedar smells alright. I'm not a huge cedar fan. It tends to give me headaches if I'm using aromatic cedar quite a bit. I'm rosewood. Some rosewoods I'm sensitive to. East Indian rosewood, I have to wear a respirator if I'm going to be using it. It gives me very, very bad headaches. So now we're just burnishing. So I'm taking some of the wood chips and I'm just holding it against the wood as it spins. Think of it like a friction polish. Then we'll add a little wax. Have I made chess pieces? I have not. So these are the 7-inch ones that I've turned today. By using this story stick to transfer the lines over, they're very similar in size. So the biggest thing with these are they have to be straight. You know, if the spindle here, you know, if it was like part of furniture or whatever, it wouldn't have to be perfectly straight. But the way these work, since you're actually spinning yarn with them, so you're spinning the spindle, if it's bent, it's going to add a lot of vibration. So you're only as good as your last one you made. Alright. How does that cut the wood? It's actually peeling the wood off. Yeah, so gouges, you know, they're very sharp right here, and when you put it in, it actually peels the wood off. So it's like cutting it with like a knife. Where if you'd use like carbide like this, rather than cutting, you're scraping. Alright, so this is a beading tool. So it's sharp right on the edge here. So what we do is we just set it into the wood, give it a little wiggle. So it's just scraping the wood off. We'll take the skew here. I'm going to hold it in this direction where I'm still making a scraping cut. Then we're going to burn some lines in, so I've got just a piece of wire. And we'll sand it out. So yeah, this is spindle work, so the grain is running in that direction. So a baseball bat would be spindle turning, magic wands, pens. Yep, so we are currently spinning, like I said, 3,629 RPMs. Yeah, so this wire here... Hey, Jay, how's it going? This is picture frame hanging wire that I took two individual wires and twisted them together. A lot of people use guitar strings as well. Do I get splinters? Not very often. I'll tend to get splinters when I'm doing other things. This isn't very splinter causing. So I still have to work on laying out the... I'm going to be making a segmented yarn bowl. So I still have to lay that out in Fusion 360, and then we're going to cut that out on the CNC machine and then glue it all together. I did make I did make a little progress. I am now the proud owner of the space plate. So that will get mounted on here. So it'll be a big circle that'll clamp on the bowl and let me clean up the bottom. So I purchased that. And then hell must have froze over because I purchased a bowl gouge. So this is for shaping bowls. This is a spindle gouge. Well, let's make it a similar one. Okay. This is a spindle gouge. So if you can see this, when it goes into the tang, when it goes into there, it's very small, right? Because you're not getting a lot of spindle turning, you're not getting a lot of force against it. Where on a bowl gouge, you get this big solid piece here, because this thing is going to be, if you have a piece that isn't exactly round, it's going to be beating the crap out of you. So that's why it's solid. You could use this for making spindles. You shouldn't use this for making bowls. They're just different shapes. So yes, I bought my first bowl gouge. So I have to sharpen it yet, but we're getting closer. It is nice to get new tools. So yesterday I cut out... These are top whirls. These get, they go on the lathe, and then we core out the center here, and they make them all pretty. So I cut these out yesterday on the CNC machine. So we have a few. So yeah, next week is going to be making the risers. I got 10 tables that need risers. So I got to come up with 40 of something for my folding tables. So I can either put some like PVC piping on the legs that are already there and just have them longer, or I could make like little blocks that they set on. The only problem is if I make the blocks, they would almost have to stack together, because 40 of them, you know, I need to raise the table about 6 or 7 inches. So 40 of those are going to take up a lot of room in the van. Actually, the 3D printers are not running right this second, but yeah, let's go see what finished up. Vicky, say hi.
Hi.
What you doing?
I am putting together the maple standards.
There you go.
In the wholesale order.
Nice.
So I can dry the other ones, so I can list the other ones.
Right. Yeah. All right. So these have the oil finish on them, and they've been drying. So they get the weight of the spindle on the bottom, manufacturer, and then wood type. Sorry. I'll let you get back to work. So there we go. So these are top whirls. A college just ordered a few. They're doing a spinning class, so printing a bunch up. So we have some pen kits. I mean, we can make 19 more pens. I don't know what I do with the pens I had though. Starting to get some chaos in here. Huh. I know the one pen that I made on the video is at home. I don't know where the other ones are. I turned 2 other ones. I guess I don't need any fancy pens. When I stop looking for them, they'll show up. Yeah, we'll do some exotic wood pens. I've got a little bit. One second here. So yeah, we'll make some exotic wood ones. These are acrylic. So yeah, these start out as a block of acrylic. But yeah, we got some exotic wood. It's just a matter of getting them set up, getting them ready. We should probably do a pen stream one of these days. Just got some. I just got some Purple Heart that we can make some pens out of, and I got some like really cool maple. I guess we'll go for another walk. I'm sorry, guys. All right. So yeah, over the next couple days, I got to go through my scrap and kind of clean that up. I'm trying to use up kind of the majority of the stuff I have here before we buy more. But regardless, I just so I just machined this piece here this morning. So this is like quilted maple. So it's like really awesome for like, I don't know, 7-8 inches, and like it's kind of boring. But I thought it was really pretty. We just got some purple heart in. We can do some of that. So normally when I get curly maple, it's more just like stripey. It's not so quilted looking. I'm going to have to look for some more bird's eye maple. I got some. The issue with it, the bird's eye, is I have to get it where it has a lot of bird's eyes on because I make small items. So you can see how there's a ton of bird's eyes there. All those little dots. If they're too spread out, you know, you're not going to see it. Oh, and they finally got Osage Orange back in, which is pretty. And it's like pretty cheap too. $6. Yeah, I'll go for that. I have no idea what's going on, but Vicky's having a good time. So I assume she's got headphones on and she's watching the TV show. When in doubt, get more monitors. Just work it for yourself. Yeah, some of that maple is just gorgeous. Oh, they're playing paintball. Words to live by, my friend. Ghost shows, yep. When in doubt, ghost shows. Although we were watching Mystery Science Theater 3000 for the last couple days. Make arrows for bows. I think it'd be better off making bolts for crossbows. I am not a Fletcher. I guess it depends where you live. I do spin yarn. I love spinning yarn. There's something magical about yarn. So yeah, this is my demo spindle. I'm a big fan of Turkish. Yeah, I do a lot of spinning. I do a little knitting. I'm more of a... I crochet more than I knit. Do you have any videos of making yarn? I do not right now. My other channel is Snyder Spindles. And I just recently deleted everything because I have to re-record videos. A lot of the videos I had were like over 10 years old, and it looks like I filmed them underwater. So eventually I'll have more up. I spin a lot of wool. I spin a lot of black-faced meat sheep because that's what I demo with. It's a good beginner yarn for spinning, so I do a lot of demoing with that stuff. But yeah, for myself, I don't mind merino. I kind of like merino. I'll get things blended. I'll get blends as well. No, I'm a unicorn. I would like to get into tufting, but I think that's just going to be a money pit. Yeah, I actually had a relative after World War II. She taught soldiers how to knit who were suffering from shell shock or, post-traumatic stress is what we would call it now. She did that for many, many years. Yeah, I need to jump on fixing a few spinning wheels. I'd like to have those for the show in September. Oh yeah. Alright, I'm going to call that empty. So, let's vacuum it out. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea. So yeah. So that one, focus, that one, the one in the back over there, all need repair. Kind of the front ones all work. I have all my wheels here except for one. I haven't got an Aspert Elizabeth at home because sometimes I want to spin yarn at home. But yeah, we're going to get a few of those fixed up. Alright. So the wax we are currently using is Minwax Paste Wax. I'll just take some chunks, throw them in there. Well, it's hard for me to believe. I've used beeswax in the past. That's fine. But in order to get it kind of to a consistency where to push it on, you kind of have to kind of melt it down with some mineral oil. Yeah, beeswax would be fine. You know, there are quite a few spindle makers out there that don't spin, and I think that's a total waste of. I mean, how do you sell them if you can't demonstrate what they are? So these are the 8-inch ones from today. Would you buy a car from somebody who doesn't drive? And I tell the story a lot. You know, I go to a lot of fiber shows. You know, that's how I make my living. And I'll run across people who make beautiful spindles that are not balanced at all. And they want like $100. So you're going to spend $100 for something that doesn't work right? It's a little frustrating. Because if you're just starting out, you're not going to know, you know, if it's good or not. It's pretty, and it's expensive, so obviously it must be good. I had one of the fluorescent lights in here go out today. So it just seems really, really dark out here. It's not my building, and there's two of the lights in here are burnt out. They're fluorescent. They need a new... Is it ballasts? But yeah, I don't think it's my responsibility to repair that, so. All right. So I have to put new fishing line on my fishing poles. I didn't realize how bad the line was until I hooked onto a bass and broke my line, so So that sounds like fun. You typically use monofilament. Where I live, it's mainly, you know, it's all fresh water, and for the most part, I'm trying to get perch and bluegill, so relatively small fish. Then you get a bunch of bass that want to be eating the perch and the bluegill, so hook up on them once in a while. So Vicky just called. A couple days ago, we went fishing a few days ago, and we went close to home, and it's not a good spot. I ended up catching a sheep's head, which the freshwater sheep's head are just nasty. And I'm like, okay, Vicky, we're going to stay until you catch something. And then she brought in, I don't know, like a 15-inch bass. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess you win. For some reason, she catches largemouth bass, like, a lot. I don't know why. Let me go grab my... Alright, I am back. Yeah. So there's a little bass she brought in. Nah, we don't have a lot of bear here. If you go up north, they got a bunch of black bear. So on the way to work today, I found this duck. Clearly a duck swimming in water. I was like, what are the frickin' crows freaking out about? Oh, it could be this... Is it a juvenile hawk just standing in a puddle? As far as wildlife around here goes, you know, driving, deer, white-tailed deer are usually the biggest issue, especially when they're in rut. They're thinking about other things rather than not getting hit by cars. It depends on what we're catching. Yeah, if we go up for bluegill and perch, I'm going to keep the bluegill and perch. I have no issue cleaning fish. So I don't own a boat, so we do shore fishing. My brother's got a boat. He'll take us out once in a while when he's in town. I live like really near a huge freshwater lake, but it's not really good for shore fishing. So yeah, these are the Great Lakes here. If you come in, I live on the bottom of that lake right there. Get a lot of catfish there. Actually, if you're gonna go for catfish, there are catfish in that lake. A lot of times you go to the rivers that feed into it. There's like a marsh. There's marshes around it. But yeah, there are catfish in there. There's also sturgeon in that lake. So in the winter, there's sturgeon spearing. No gators, nope. No, we're way too far north for that. Snapping turtles. You don't want to run into them. We got some water snakes too, but nothing too scary. Yeah, Vicky's got, and it seems like if there's a puddle of water, there'll be an alligator in it. And I am making progress of building that stand for the scroll saw for the basement. I at least have the pieces here. Now it's a matter of just tearing it apart and then building a stand. So it's going to be an old bunk that I'm just going to bolt together and make a little scroll saw stand out of. I think I'm going to buy some leg bolts. That way I could take it apart, so I'm not trying to carry it down the steps. Then we could do some scary streams in the spooky basement. You know, I hate to brag, but that pen making video I made, I've already made 27 cents off it. Oh yeah. I think we're gonna run over to the scroll saw after this one. Need to sit down. Well, I typically make slimline pens. So the 2 chambers, I mean, I could buy different kits to make like cigar pens or whatever. But yeah, usually the slimlines. Once you start getting into fancier kits, you know, if you have to drop, you know, even $10 on a kit and $8 on a piece of acrylic, you're $18 in. How are you going to make a profit off that? That's why people who sell pens are selling pens for, you know, $75. They got a lot of money tied up just in the materials. Alright, let's see how many we got here. We got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 8 inches. Then we got 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 7. $29.30. So yeah. So this is my pile here, and it seems like I've got a lot, but in a week we can use up all of that stuff. It hasn't been bad so far. And I even got a nap in. Just a little under the weather today. So we're going to be cutting out the mortises on these. So the cool thing about a scroll saw is you can make internal cuts. So I drilled the hole, put the blade through. Alright, now we're going to run through a rat tail bastard pile. Just to make sure that it's centered, which it is. Take the pattern off. So this is 5/8 inch thick cherry, which is what, about 18 mil? Yeah, about 18 mil. All right, we are watching. Give me a second here. Say the name of the damn show. Destination Fear is what we're watching. So a dude that used to work with Zach Bagans is taking his sister and his friends on a haunted road trip. There we go. Who knows? It's probably 10 years old. I was watching this channel yesterday, and apparently Kesha has her own ghost show. Who knows how old that is? And I did not see her brush her teeth with a bottle of Jack once. Yeah, I don't know what, Kesha has to do with the paranormal, other than, she had like one hit song in 2013. I don't know. That being said, if Dan Aykroyd would have a show like that, I would watch that. Because he grew up in that environment. His parents His relatives were into that stuff. Could be why he wrote Ghostbusters. Yeah, so we glue the patterns down. We'll put painter's tape down. We use blue painter's tape. Put that down and then glue the paper pattern. So when we're done, we can just peel it off. No residual glue on there to deal with. So these here, metaphysical, nice. I'll have to check that out. So these are gliders. These are 5/8 inch thick cherry gliders. I'll probably turn these into delights, which just means that I'm gonna laser engrave patterns on the top of them. So like I said earlier, we're kind of going through what wood we have and trying to use up what we have before we go get more. We just went to the mill. We got a lot of domestic woods. So we'll probably have a sale and then get more exotic. So yeah, I got 4 more of these, and then we have to cut out some other ones. Don't have a ton over here. Vicky laid out, looks like probably 20 more, but she didn't drill the top holes yet. So. So yeah, now that we got these cut out, the next would be sanding and balancing. And then these get these get an oil finish. No, we don't show the balancing process, unfortunately. It's kind of like the secret sauce. It's a process. We all have to keep some secrets. Yes. Some things have to be. Some things need to be kept secrets. You know, it's not elaborate. It's pretty common sense, but yeah. It took me quite a while to come up with the process. So we are making Turkish-style drop spindles that are used to spin yarn. So we were making the shafts about 20 minutes ago, and now we're coming over here making the arms. So that's what it's going to look like when it's done. It's a living. All right. I'm going to swap this blade out. It's a number 7 blade. These are Olson precision ground tooth blades. So these are a double skip tooth modified geometry blade that has reverse teeth. So if you look at the blade, you can see how there's 2 teeth, and then a huge gap, and then 2 more teeth. So that's a double skip tooth. The reason that it's got these huge gullets or spaces between the teeth, that gives the sawdust a place to go. So these cut way more efficiently than if it was like a standard blade that had a constant row of teeth. And you can see on this side how 4 sets are facing the other way. So the blade is reciprocating, so it's going up and down. Having those reverse teeth will prevent tear out on the bottom. So when it's cutting down, it'll cut down to about there, and then when it goes up, it'll cut bottom. So I've been scroll sawing since 1987. Now you can see how nice of a finish we're getting right off the saw. So most of the time, these are a 1/2 inch thick. But the cherry and maple ones are a little bit thicker just because of the weight of them. Yeah, so this one's maple. The rest that we were making were cherry. Alright, and we're sticking with the hard maple. These are called decos. They've got an Art Deco look to them. So these were originally designed to be 3D printed, hence all the straight lines. So the hardest thing to cut on a scroll saw is a straight line. So these have internal cuts. If you guys are just tuning in, we are cutting some Turkish drop spindles that are used to spin yarn. So this is what came before the spinning wheel. So I'm cutting out the centers and being very words are not coming to my brain. Conservative. I'm making them pretty small. I can always make them bigger. I can't make them smaller. So needs a little sanding, obviously. So garbage day was on Tuesday, and we get home from work, and our garbage can, it's got a hinged lid on it, and the lid was gone. So the garbage truck took our lid. So somebody's supposed to stop by today and put a different lid on there. So when Vicky called, I could hear the conversation. It wasn't a huge surprise or anything. Apparently the garbage truck eats lids. I don't know. Now, when we were down in South Carolina, we were in a Airbnb or whatever, and they get garbage pickup twice a week. We get it once a week, and our recycling is only picked up once every 2 weeks. But I was thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, it's a lot hotter down there. So you probably wouldn't want your garbage sitting around for, a full week. I'm sure the raccoons would beg to differ. So in the shop here, there's a dumpster out back, but they don't have recycling pickup here. I don't know why. So we actually take our recycling from here home and put it in the can at home. 'Cause... Hey Ed, how's it going? Welcome in. 'Cause I don't want to throw away recyclables. I like them to be recycled. Yeah, so I'm just shaving off a little bit, like a 32nd of an inch or like a mil, maybe a half a mil. Yeah, it's kind of cool because, you know, it gives you, you know, a bulky little spindle, but it cuts the weight way down on it. And then once you get a cop on here, you can see like inside of it. It is a fun design. You know, when I design things, I tend to have kind of a science fiction kind of feel to things. Even though this is a deco, because it's kind of Art Deco looking. But yeah, definitely has a Star Trek aesthetic to it. You know, if I went to a Ren fair, I'd be the guy dressed up like, I'd be a red, have the red shirt on. There seems to be a lot of cleavage on this planet. Nice. So Vicky does the layout. Well, there you go. Yeah, if you'd rotate that. Yeah, Vicky does all the layout, so I never know what I'm going to get. Unless somebody orders something, you know. Why are we making these? Because Vicky laid them out. Why did she lay them out? I have no idea. I've given up a lot of control in my business. But it's great because I get to shut my brain off. Hello, Mohammed. How's it going? Welcome in. You started using Glad Press and Seal for your Scrollsoft projects? Are you using that for like an interface layer? Yeah, it'll get out of there. And the sad part is the majority of the stuff tends to hit the 5-gallon bucket underneath the table here. So yeah, my table's at a very big angle. I know a lot of people use shelf liner paper. We just kind of settled on blue painter's tape. It sticks out like a sore thumb, so you're not sanding it. Okay. It doesn't peel up on you? And since it's got that like wax on it, I bet it does a very good job lubricating the blades. Yeah, Steve Good, God bless his soul. Yeah, use shelf lining paper a lot, especially on the bigger stuff. Because if you're cutting something big, you're putting layers of tape on would get kind of old. Right. I found a really good glue stick that I'll use on occasion. They sell it for 3D printers. Does a good job. Yep. That makes sense. You know, for a lot of years, I would just use spray adhesive directly on the wood, and then I'd clean it up with mineral spirits. But I don't want to be soaking in mineral spirits every day, so. grab some shafts for these. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 and 3. So these get 8-inch shafts. And these smaller ones, these are medium size, they get 7-inch. Alright, now we're going to cut out some smaller ones. So I do have dust extraction, that's a whole thing here, but I don't really want to run a vacuum cleaner all the time in here. I don't think we're going to cut out the mortises on these. I think we're just going to cut out the outsides. So I take a doweling, I'll put an end on it, and I got a 2x4 with holes in that'll sit in. And then my workbench over there also has holes so I can keep these organized. Keep them together. Because whenever you make something with multiple parts, they want to, one of them wants to disappear on you. So this is 5/8 inch thick cherry. We're going to the Villisca Axe Murder House. My partner Vicky used to live in Villisca. It's in Iowa. Am I afraid of cutting my hands? Nope. I'm not. So the stroll saw is very good at cutting wood, not good at cutting fingers. You know, it's not like a bandsaw, it's reciprocating, right? So yeah, if you touch it, you're gonna get cut, but it's gonna be a Band-Aid cut. I usually catch my finger maybe twice a year. A lot of times I'll be cutting something and the wood will have a split in it or a void and just too much pressure, but yeah. So I keep finger cots on hand. So if I do cut myself, I'll wash it off, put a Band-Aid on it, and then put a finger cot over it, and then I'm right back to work. Yeah, so this is a number 7 Olson Precision Ground Tooth blade. So it's a very, very aggressive blade. Yeah, don't be afraid. The camera's also at an extreme angle too. I would say I'm at least 3 or 4 millimeters away. Hello, welcome in. RayVX. Oh, that's cool. I might have to try that out. Hey, honey.
Yeah.
They're going to the Velisca axe murder house.
Where?
Velisca?
Yeah.
They're doing the axe murder house.
Oh,
Fear, whatever.
is
Is it Destination Fear?
you know, I never actually went inside the house.
Well, I know.
Well, and then everybody that lives there.
So Vicky's taking some photos to put things online.
I took a picture of this guy.
Oh, okay.
And put it online.
Okay.
It's Aromatic Cedar, right?
Yep. $2 is fine. I want my $2.
So he's laying there. I'm like, I'm gonna take a picture.
Yeah. So he's aromatic
And,
cedar.
we don't normally, list that kind of stuff. But
So, yeah, these go at shows are a couple bucks each. It's just scrap, a laser engraven an image, and then with the scroll saw go around and cut it out. Yeah. There we go.
I should. Do we know when?
Do we know when? I have no idea.
Yeah, the house is small.
Well, yeah.
Trying to think.
So sometimes I make things because to prove a point. So I made a video, using just a 21-inch scroll saw. I cut out this anti-disestablishmentarianism sign to go above my door. And then I did a bunch of just shaping. So that's one solid piece of wood. I don't use spiral blades very often, but when I do, you gotta prove a point, and then, I wanted a capybara key rack, so made that. And started making these guys. So solid piece of wood, and then CNC machine out the insides. So yeah, the workshop is a little messy, and we lost a light today. That one should look like that one. Neighbors sawing across. So yeah, we're very lucky we found this workshop. It's about, it could be 12 minutes to walk here or 5 minutes in the car, not even. So got this little old grocery store from 1900. I spent a long time working out of a 10 by 10 bedroom and then a 12 by 12 garden shed. So it's very nice to be able to spread out a little bit. Yep, so this is my Pegas. This is my production machine. When I make videos, I'll either use a 16-inch buck tool or a 22-inch Bauer. So, I have a little recording station over there, if it'll focus. So if I'm recording like a, introductory like scroll saw video, I don't want people to think that they have to, drop $1,000 on a saw in order to get results. So if you go to Harbor Freight and look up the Bauer scroll saw, they actually have one of my videos on their webpage. I should really reach out to them and be like, hey, if you want me to do a review, yeah, the majority of the stuff I make will easily fit onto, the 21-inch saw. I don't do a lot of really huge stuff. Yeah, the bigger the better, right? I don't know if the 30-inch, they used to have a foot pedal to raise up the arm because it was so big. I don't know if they still do that or not. Oh, you gotta check out this beauty. Right? Oh. Look at that. A 1950s Shopmaster. Eventually, I will build a new bench for it and do something a little bit better than You know, the classic hinge, and then just let the motor hang there. But, you know, it's clearly more of a display piece than anything else. But yeah. Crazy. Yep, so this saw is angled, it's low. I've got a computer chair here. Yeah, if I could find a treadle saw, that'd be amazing too. So that one I found on Facebook Marketplace. I bought it on my birthday and I paid $20 for it. So I think I did okay on it. I got $20 worth of enjoyment just getting it running. I was looking for some boomerang formica to put on top of the table for that, for the stand. But I'm just gonna have to look for like an old formica top table or something, cause yeah, they do not give that shit away.
I accidentally listed a walnut instead of the mahogany that I had, so
Okay.
there you go.
I'll cut this out right away.
Now,
You're still talking. What?
so this I had one laid out.
Right.
I can cut it all right now.
Was it the full size?
Yeah, it was the bigger of the two. Yeah, you can cut out both if you want.
I'm sorry, I had my headphone in. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it was the bigger of the
And
two.
then I hear wow, 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 wow. I'm like, oh boy. I know that sound. That's a grown up.
Right. Yeah, it was the 2.5.
Okay. So did somebody buy it?
No, it's just I just listed it.
Oh.
I would rather have it a little further along
Right.
than having to cut it out the day somebody buys it. You know.
Can you get me a 4.25-inch shaft? Just one. Thank you. All right, this is 5/8-inch black walnut. Aww. That's the Velisca murder cat. Oh no, they're in that other place. So I'm just verifying the holes are centered. So I'll put it together one direction and then put it together the other direction, which is ironically my favorite band, One Direction. That never gets old. I'm such a big fan, I have no idea one song they sing. It's not you, it's me. You know, streaming is kind of a win-win for me because it keeps me motivated to keep working. Because, yeah, I've been doing this, it's my 13th year doing this full-time. So I tend to run out of things to say. That's why I got the TV going. Keep my neurodivergent ass going. You know, sometimes I get in the zone. You know, once in a while you just gotta take a step back and, you know, cut out a piece of fretwork with several hundred holes in it. Just to prove that you can still do it. Yeah. You know, it's true what they say. If you love what you do, don't make it into a business. Right? So I started making these about, well, one of my friends wanted me to make her one. And then I wanted to make sure it worked, so I learned how to spin, and then I fell in love with that. So I started making these to sell to support spinning. So this hobby of making these supported buying the stuff I needed in order to make the yarn. And then, yeah, after a few months, I got laid off from the factory job I was doing. And I decided to jump in and try doing this full time. The first couple years were very lean. Takes time to build a reputation. And yeah, I've been doing it ever since. I mean, I'm not complaining. You'd think I'd play hooky a lot more than I do. You know, when we don't have like a impending show, you know, tend to put in about 8 hours. If a show's coming, it might jump up to 12. I don't know what the neighbor's cutting on his chop saw, but it must be very small. All right. That's a lot of piece. How's AJ doing today? All right, we'll cut some of the centers out now. So I do make these in several different thicknesses, so I pencil in the actual size of the mortise. So we're just finishing up a wholesale order for Japan. So we'll see how those go over. There are a few Asian countries that we don't ship to just because Etsy is such a pain in the butt. They need an English label, and then things take forever to get there, and it's just became a pain. So they could corner the market. I'm fine with that. Which kind of sucks because I had a whole bunch of Japanese friends in college. But trying to track down packages in a country where you can't speak the language really isn't a great idea. Hey, is it Hamiz? Hey, welcome in. Yep, so these are not going to get shafted. They're just going to be, well, they're not going to be put together. Would probably be a better way of saying that. They're just going to be cut out and then put on a stick. So these are going to be kind of like overflow for the time being. More than likely, I'm going to make these into delights. So this is a full size. It's not sanded, but this is a delight. So hello, welcome in. So it has a Turkish motif, laser engraved on the top. So more than likely they'll get the same. I tried doing barbed wire on the top. Really didn't go over all that well. I don't have any left, so I sold them all, but they took a long time to sell. So maybe vines, maybe flowers, I don't know. You have problems with your top clamp sticking sometimes? So I don't know if I'm a over tightener or not, but I tend to blow through the knobs quite a bit. I do like the Pegasus chuck. I was running a Pegasus chuck on my DeWalt many years ago. I have another set here. Originally, I was going to put it on my Harbor Freight, my Bauer scroll saw, but the chuck that's on there, it's been working really good, so I hate to replace it if it's still functioning. Yep, so we've been talking a lot about like the Seiko and the Pegasus. Those are all Taiwanese saws coming out of the same factory. Where the Bauer and like the Buck tool, the new King is also be made in China. I can't think. Chansen is a company that's making them. They also make a lot of Rikon. The Rikon saw is the same as a Harbor Freight saw. They make a lot for Rikon. They also do the Nova stuff. They make all the Nova power tools as well. So it's a big company, and for beginner saws, they're not bad at all. So So you have the same clamps. Let's see. So they do make a refresher kit for these, where it has a different. It's got a brand new tensioning knob, in the spring. I'm not sure if it comes with a knob or not. When I bought this saw, it came with that kit as well. So I've rebuilt this one time over, and like the knob here, I've replaced multiple times. Yeah, I keep a spare set here. So if I start getting slippage or whatever, a lot of people will take and they will grind or sand this to try to get it to stay in. It's just not a knob. There's an insert in here. So that pulls apart. And then there's a little O-ring. So a drop of oil in that O-ring once in a while. So what it does is when you go to clamp it, when you screw it in, it gives more lateral pressure rather than, it's not twisting. It's just clamping. Like the Chanson saws, the Bauer saw, the King, the Rikon, the Buck tool. Those just have a normal knob on. You also put some on your Delta? Yeah. Yep. Yeah, these double parallel arm saws, they're 90% the same saw in all of them. So, yeah. But yeah, if you get a refresher kit, it should take care of it. If you're in the United States or Canada, Bear Woods carries all that stuff, so. Yeah, the Delta saws and the DeWalt saws coming out of the same, factory. Actually, the funny part is, the company that makes those actually purchased Delta from Black & Decker, who own both. So yeah, that same company's still making both of them. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, a little lubrication wouldn't hurt. I've been really into the dry lube. This silicone stuff. What the heck is it? the WD-40 brand. Yeah. Yeah. It's great for table saws, drills, and lathes. So, I really like this stuff. Is it silicone? I don't even know. It doesn't attract dust. So dust doesn't stick to its sawdust. So I use that a lot on my lathe as well. If my lathe starts getting loud, I'll hit the bearings in there. This is, it should be fine, because it's not going to have a lot, there is sawdust on here, but it's not going to be like on the bottom would be horrible. Now, I think that'd be the same as dry moly. I could be wrong. So probably July is when we're going to get back into show mode and start getting ready for the 3 shows in September and October. So now it's kind of a little bit of peace before the storm. We're in the eye of the hurricane right now, so we can relax a little bit, but. So yeah, I'm going to be doing a complete new setup for festivals. So, talking about it earlier, we're going to raise all the tables up and getting a different banner. Yeah, we're getting rid of a lot of the... Anything that was sublimated, anything with AI is gone. Anything that isn't a fiber tool that was 3D printed is gone. So, just kind of doing a shift away from that stuff. So yeah, today we're cutting a lot of domestic woods. So grab that quilted maple. Oh, yeah. So, I'm a big fan of putting magnets on my pencils. That way I don't have to look for my pencils because they're stuck to my saw. Magnets are your friends. So I do burn all the little scrap. We have a fireplace. In the wintertime, we burn a lot of scrap. So yeah, none of this stuff goes to waste. It's got a little mark on the top. That's okay. It'll burn just fine. Alright guys, we're going to finish up this one, and then we're going to call it a stream. I think I got my 3 hours in. Who am I kidding? I've been working since about 7 o'clock. All right. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. And hopefully I'll see you guys next time. So have a beautiful day. And remember to be nice to people. I don't know why. But you should just be nice to people. Have a great day.